Hello and welcome back to Bookish Theories. In today's video I would like to talk about Tomorrow by Together's teaser for MOA Academy 2020, focusing on a little breakdown and analysis of the video and what clues it may hide about the storyline, the next comeback and the BigHit Multiverse. Now, MOA Academy is a special event that Tomorrow by Together is promoting ahead of the first anniversary of their debut. And it will include activities like Understanding Dreams, Happy Sports Club and after-school activities. At the beginning, the video opens with TXT entering a bedroom filled with books, merch and photos. The fact that there is a sign that says good vibes here implies that this is a place filled with positivity and happiness where they can hang out after school. This makes sense because as the video progresses, we see them in bed actually planning the content that we'll see in the academy. And while we see Subin playing with a cube that says exploring MOA, probability and statistics and after-school activities, which suggests that these are all events that they are planning for the academy, we also see Bongyu playing with an airplane next to a chessboard. This is an interesting choice because in the past few days, a lot of MOAs have been talking about the possibility that their next comeback will actually be inspired by Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. Even if the previous comeback had a lot in common with the Harry Potter series, things like Magic Island, the Dragon and the Cat, for instance, could also be seen as an alternative version of Wonderland, the Jabberwocky and the Cheshire Cat. And if we go back and take a look at the Runaway MV, the boys actually get to the Magic Island through a hatch in the pool. This is very similar to Alice falling down the rabbit hole in order to reach Wonderland. And much like what happens to Alice, the boys experience a change of scale as soon as they reach the island. In Runaway, the boys arrive in front of a giant door that could be a reference to Alice shrinking after drinking the potion. And if we consider that in the teaser, Taehyun is wearing a rabbit headband, all clues point to the fact that Alice in Wonderland could play a major role in the next comeback. The focus on dreams and on the idea of us understanding dreams in the academy is also another possible hint that Alice will be important. When talking about the book, Lewis Carroll said that Alice's adventure is actually a dream, but this information is not revealed until the very end. This implies that up to that moment, the reader is tricked into believing that all the events happen in reality. And this is important because by doing so, the author actually mixed dream and reality together. This is very coherent with what we've been seeing in the music videos up to this point. But since it's BigHit we're talking about here, there are many other sources that we need to consider, some of which may be hidden in the teaser. Now, if we take a look at the books that we see next to Yeonjun, for instance, some of the titles that I managed to decipher are actually very interesting. The easiest one to spot here is definitely the red book, which is The Time of the Fireflies by Kimberly Griffiths Little. In the book, the protagonist is a girl named Larissa who has a scar on her face and travels back in time in order to save her pregnant mother from a family curse. Right off the bat, the presence of time travel here is very telling, because it connects us right back to both BTS and GFRIEND's storylines. In both cases, we have at least a member in each group who travels back in time in order to save the others or correct a past mistake. So the fact that in this book the protagonist does both is an indication that we're heading in the right direction. What's interesting here is that in the book, the curse is actually connected to a mysterious doll that belonged to the girl's family for generations. Every time Larissa looks at the doll, her scar hurts. And in order to save her family from its curse, the girl has to follow the fireflies and travel back in time. Like in Tomorrow by Together's story, the book here also focuses a lot on the theme of self-acceptance and on the importance of realizing that you deserve love no matter what you look like. And if we take a look at the original illustrations of the book, you can see that the setting of the story is very similar to the set design that they used for Magic Island. All these elements together suggest that The Time of the Fireflies is a major inspiration for the boys' storyline. But as we'll see in a second, this is not the only one that we can find in the video. The second book that I found is a novel by Bill Britton called The Wish Giver, 3 Tales of Coventry. Now, this one is very interesting because it tells about a mysterious man who plays card tricks and is able to grant wishes. The protagonists here are 3 children who are given 1 wish each, but every time that they ask for something, they phrase it badly and their wish goes horribly wrong. This could be an indication that the transformations the boys go through in the story are actually the result of a wish gone wrong. And if we take a look at Cat and Dog, this actually makes a lot of sense. In the song, the boys actually wish to become animals. And even if this could be seen as a cute joke to express their love for their crush, this type of misunderstanding is the same incident that causes the wishes to go wrong in the book. This is important because the focus on animal transformation here is also confirmed in another clue that can be found in the teaser. Now, if we take a look at the bookshelf on the left of the screen, there are a lot of books whose titles are very difficult to make out. Among these books, however, there are 2 in particular that got my attention. The first one is just called Animals, which is a very generic title if you ask me. But the second one is called Dentro di te, which in Italian means inside of you. This one in particular got my attention because this book doesn't actually exist. And since the bookshelf has 2 copies of that book, to me this is a clue that their transformations are actually connected to their inner selves. Now, this is very interesting because in BTS's Map of the Soul, one of the representations of the shadow, which is the darker and more animalistic part of ourselves that we are ashamed of and want to hide, is actually represented by the black swan, that is, by an animal inside of themselves. If we connect this information with the book that I just mentioned, then this could be a clue that in TXT's storyline, the boys wish to turn into animals in order to impress their crush. But they said their wish wrong, so instead they got transformed into animals that actually represent the darker aspects of their personality. But if this is the case, then how can we explain Taeyeon's eye and Kai's angel wings? Well, on the one hand, I think that Yunin Kai's transformation is connected to him actually crushing the dragonfly back in Magic Island. It's like a punishment, if you will. So even if its wings don't look like they belong to an animal, maybe his transformation is related to the dragonfly that he killed and the guilt he feels about it. Taeyeon, on the other hand, is a whole different story because I think that he will play the same role that Jin and Una play in BTS and GFRIEND storylines. Even if we don't know much about the multiverse yet, one thing that we know for sure is that each group has a member with more knowledge and power than the others, and Taeyeon could be the one who has that role in TXT. Since he has a star in his eye and the star is a symbol of power and protection, this could imply that he will be in charge of guiding the others as they keep traveling back in time in order to fix their problems. To know if I'm right or wrong, however, we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please think about liking and subscribing. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye!